Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Belgium for round 12 of the 99 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Just before the free practice session begins, let's take a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. Hakkinen is running away with the Drivers' Championship. Michael Schumacher, second.
We share third with Coulthard, Irvine, 4th, Hill, 5th, Barrichello, 6th, Panis, 7th, Fisichella, 8th, Ralf Schumacher and Villeneuve share 9th, Julie and Genet share 10th, Wirtz 11th, Herbert 12th.
Well, that covers the drivers. Let's take a quick look at the constructors next. McLaren lead the Constructors' Championship and arrive here having finished a legendary 1-2 in the last race. Can they do it again? Ferrari are second. Jordan are third.
Stewart 4th, Prost 5th, Benetton 6th, Williams and BAR share 7th, and Minardi are 8th.
Located approximately 50 kilometers north of Liège, near the town of Spa, the exhilarating Spa-Francorchamps circuit combines long straights with a challenging mix of fast turns and chicanes. Winding its way among the forests in the foothills of the Ardennes Mountains, Spa-Francorchamps also has the longest lap of all the current Formula One circuits.
After a lucky race in Hungary last week, we arrive in Belgium for our next race in the season, and I'm quite excited to get going, especially since this is one of my favorite tracks. But for now, let's focus on qualifying. Coming around for our first qualifying lap, I slightly mess up the exit through the bus stop chicane, but we cross the line with a time of 1 minute 58.974 seconds, placing us in P6 for the moment. And now, coming around for a second time, I once again mess up the exit, but we cross the line with a time of 1 minute 59.282 seconds, quite slower than the first time, and that is only good enough to put us in P20. See you on the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Belgium for round 12 of the 1999 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Over 30 degrees and climbing. It's a fantastic day for Formula One. Hakkinen first. Coulthard second. Schumacher consistently outpaced his championship rival. He starts third. Eddie Irvine fourth. Hill was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts fifth. Schumacher sixth. Barrichello seventh. Fisichella eighth. Jacques Villeneuve ninth. Herbert 10th. Alexander Wirtz 11th. Alessandro Zanardi 12th. Jarno Trulli 13th. Alesi 14th. Olivier Panis 15th. Diniz 16th. Zonta 17th. Pedro de la Rosa 18th. Luca Badoa 19th. The Jordan driver 20th. Marc Genet 21st. Takagi 22nd.
So, here we are on the grid ready to get going, and hopefully finish in the points. And we're off. Once again I start slow, and we'll have to be a bit careful into the first corner, especially now with all these cars around us. I run off onto the grass trying to avoid hitting De La Rosa, whilst Panis and Zanardi have an accident, even though we've slowed down to a crawl. But let's take another look at the start. And so, here we can see the start once more. And we have Panis and Zanardi in the bottom corner of the screen as they collide, and we also have Takagi and De La Rosa. I don't think the Arrows team will be too happy about that. But back to our race as we pass Takagi through Eau Rouge. A pretty difficult corner to get right. Just one wrong move and you could end up in the barriers. We are now on the Camel Straight, and can we pass Zonta through the chicane? I doubt it since he's quite far ahead, but maybe we can close in the gap a bit. However, he passes De La Rosa and will be looking to do the same, which shouldn't be that hard considering that he is missing his rear wing. But we get past him and we are now looking again at Zonta. So let's see if we can get around him as well. No problems there. Next up we have Deniz in the Sauber, who manages to pull away a bit, but we'll catch up to him since he and a couple of other cars are being held up by Panis, who has lost his wing at the very beginning. We get around Deniz and Genet, and we now have to deal with Trulli. However, we bump into his car, causing him to lose both of his wings, which will force us to go for a drive-through. So here we have Trulli as I hit the rear of his car. He flies into the barriers and loses his wings. And as stated during the German Grand Prix, I will go for a drive-through. But now I tap the rear of Panis's car, and it would be a bad thing if I'd wipe out both Frost drivers. I'll try to be a bit more careful from here on out, says the world's worst driver ever, but seriously I should try to be more careful. We catch up to Panis and we pass him through Blanchimont. I avoid serving my penalty during this lap in an attempt to put a bit of distance between myself and the cars behind. And I totally messed up going through the bus stop chicane. Anyway, next lap I will be serving the penalty, but until then I'll try to create a gap just so I don't end up at the very back when we rejoin the track. However, this is me we're talking about, so that might not happen. The gap part, I mean. But now, on lap 2, I finally come in to serve my penalty. Initially, I didn't want to include the footage in order to keep the video short, but I decided to keep it anyway, just so you guys can see that I did indeed follow through with the penalty. And we now rejoin the track just behind Badoer, with Genet behind and Deniz behind him. Marc Genet gets ahead of us, as I struggle to keep the car under control through Eau Rouge. And now Deniz also gets in front as we are racing through the Camel Straight. A little bit later on, we catch up to Genet and we pass him without too much of a hassle. Next we'll have Badoer and Deniz to deal with, who are just in front of us. We pass Luca Badoer, so now let's see if we can catch up to Deniz. There's pressure from Luca, but we need to stay focused and try to pull a gap in between us. But he ends up hitting us, breaking our rear wing, and he loses his front wing, which is a terrible outcome for both of us. And I'll need to pit early, which means I might have to pit a second time. Now, back at the pit, we need to replace our wing, and while we are here, we'll just as well take on fuel and change our tires. This is going to take quite some time before we can get back into the race, so I didn't want to keep you guys watching nearly 40 seconds of absolutely nothing. So we'll jump ahead just as we're ready to leave the pit stall. We are now ready to rejoin the race, and let's see if we can do anything at all to salvage our race. But we'll have to push hard if we intend to do that. However, we blew any chance to score any points in this race. On lap 4, as we are driving through Camel Straight, our teammate catches up to us and laps us. I then hit the side of his car, which could have been disastrous. Fortunately, it wasn't. Later on, one of the Ferraris catches up to lap us. I pull over to let him through, however, he goes into the pits, causing us to lose a little bit of time, which we quite frankly don't have. But on lap 6, we finally manage to catch up to Takagi, and we pass him. And I think that my suspension is slightly damaged, because my steering wheel is pulling slightly to the right. And as the race progresses, my suspension problems become more apparent. Hopefully, we won't have to retire because of it. And Johnny Herbert has lost his front wing. Let's have a look. Here's Herbert, and it seems that he might have some problems with his brakes. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes in this situation. Luckily, this is just a game. Actually, it's more of a sim than a game really. After all, it was made by ISI, the guys behind R Factor and R Factor 2. We are now on lap 9, which is just a few laps from the end, and Bedower is having suspension problems. That will give us a free position. And there he is just to our left. We almost ended up hitting him. Here's a replay of Luca Badoer. He pulls to the side of the track and stops his engine. And we can see Coulthard passing by and a little later myself. And so, we are now in P17. And I don't really think we have enough time to catch up to anyone else. But, oh well, that's how these things go. And now, coming through the bus stop chicane for one last time, we actually managed to pass a couple of pitting cars, thus placing us up into 15th, which isn't all that bad considering all the bad luck we had. Well, one was my fault actually. If I hadn't hit Truly at the beginning, we probably could have finished a bit higher. But I did hit him and I had to serve a penalty. And I think that now Coulthard is ahead of us in the championship, but we still have 4 races to go, so we might be able to get back up into 3rd. If not, that's okay. 4th place isn't too shabby for a first season. And in terms of the Constructors' Championship, our 3rd place is pretty much secured. The only way we might lose is if somehow Stewart would win all remaining 4 races, and that's quite unlikely. On a different note, our time with Jordan is slowly coming to an end, and so we will soon have to start thinking of which team we will be driving for in the next season. And for that, I will soon start a poll to let you guys decide that. That's still some time away, however, I will let you guys know when you can start submitting your votes.
That was an earth-shattering Belgian Grand Prix. Here are the final results. Hakkinen first. David Coulthard second. Schumacher third. Ralph Schumacher fourth. Damon Hill fifth. Eddie Irvine sixth. The Jordan driver 15th. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Mika Hakkinen moves further ahead in the Drivers' Championship.
Michael Schumacher 2nd, Coulthard 3rd, we've fallen down into 4th, Irvine 5th, Hill 6th, Barrichello 7th, Ralph Schumacher and Penis share 8th, Fisichella 9th, Truly and Genet share 10th, Birds 11th, Herbert 12th.
McLaren move further ahead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari are second, whilst third place is held by Jordan.
Stewart 4th, Prost 5th, Williams and Benetton share 6th, VAR 7th, and Minardi 8th. Anyways guys, that's it for this video, but join me next time when we'll be heading to Italy for round 13 of the season. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.